Hi, and welcome to AppSmart's video case study. Today we have Kim Rush, who's the Director of Digital Transformation Specialist at IntelePeer. Hi, Kim. How are you today?
Good. How are you today, Paul?
I am doing very well. I love case studies. I think these are, to me, one of the best things we do because salespeople are always looking to see how other people did it. This is great. So, right off the bat, how did IntelePeer make a difference for this customer?
Sure. So this was a large mortgage company, national, multiple branches across the US. And they noticed that one of their branch offices got all their calls blocked. And so they had reached out. They were a current customer of ours. We had sold a very large SIP deployment for them, and we were actually in the process of implementation. And what had happened was they started calling their own cell phones and noticed that the calls were getting marked as fraud, some of them, and then potential spam. So they had reached out and asked if we had a solution for this, which we do, reputation management. So basically, we were able to go in, pull their numbers, we registered them with all the underlying with all the multiple carriers. So when you think of like T-Mobile, they use First Orion. Maybe not. They all have different ones. So that's the hard part, is that every cell provider out there uses a different software, but it's all based on algorithms. But it was huge. This was an office that was loan processors and loan officers and processors. So if they couldn't get in touch with the customers, the people that were purchasing homes, they were losing a ton of money not being able to close that business. So it was very important for them to be able to reach their end user customers. And they still, so they had actually brought us a few numbers to test on some of their other offices. And we did notice that there was other ones that still had some potential spam to it. So huge loss of revenue for them. And so it was pretty important for them to be able to get these numbers clear, right? That they would come through and they would show up, as the name of their business, as the mortgage company, or at least not be marked as spam. So pretty
Oh yeah, I
important.
can imagine that would be that. Well, first it would be horribly frustrating for everybody involved. They're
Right.
frustrated, the customer's frustrated, and no one's going to answer a call that says fraud or potential fraud. I mean, that's
It is. I mean, how many calls a day do you get on your cell phone? You'll see it, potential
yep.
spam call, right? And it happens to all kinds of business. And the thing is there's a lot of legitimate calls out there that, are getting tagged incorrectly. And sometimes it just has to do with the high volume of calling from there, or just different dialing patterns, or, hey, maybe they reached out and somebody didn't realize it and they blocked the number. So there's a lot of things that go behind it that causes this legitimate calls to be marked incorrectly.
No, I can see it now. Once the solution was deployed, how did it benefit the customer that way?
Well, definitely. So, because we are able to deploy it, re-register all their numbers, and we were able to, monitor all those numbers. So if anything was showing up incorrectly, and just think of it as green is good and red is bad, right? Yellow. So anything that would start to like maybe show a yellow on all those numbers because of analytics, we would go ahead and remediate it. So right now, all of their numbers, 30,000 telephone numbers that they're using in all these different branch offices and from their corporate, are all at the green level. And so we really make sure of it. So here's the thing, they can now get a hold of their customers or their potential customers, for loan officers, hey, somebody hit a website and went to register. That loan officer now has that number, and they can legitimately call out, and that person that was looking for a mortgage rate can now be contacted. So you're running a mortgage company, you need to be able to get a hold of people.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody who's going through the process, there's lots of back and forth. I mean,
Right.
there's the phone part, there's emails, there's text. I mean, you feel like you bond with this person for a while. I can't
Right.
imagine getting a
I,
call and going, oh, I need to get called, but I don't recognize this number. And yeah.
Right, exactly. And then like, come on, getting a loan for a house is, a loan period is not the least stressful situation, right? So, like, you have to get documents in, but you're waiting for a phone call, or even like up to, the day before closing, like, what do I have to bring in? If they weren't able to get a hold of those customers, there was a lot of more stress, or a lot more inbound calls even, from customers, that journey was just not good for them anymore, so.
No, I agree. And now, what would you say is the biggest benefit for the partner? Like, I mean, you
So the
talked a lot of
partner,
them.
right? So the partner had already, worked with us and brought the customer to us. But the fact that we were able to go broader, one, more residuals, right? This was, and it's also a stickier solution. So now it's not just a voice solution for this customer, and we added some automation for them, but now here's another product that, this customer is with us for. So it's a much stickier thing than versus just one solution. Now we're providing multiple solutions. So that's a huge one, and it's additional residuals.
No, I agree. Now, if you had to sum all this up, what is the one word that you would say the customer would describe you as in this
I
process?
think through the whole journey, so IntelePeer is very big about delighting every customer. And I would definitely say that this customer found our solution, our ability to implement it as a delightful, is delightful, right? Because we're taking care of their issues, and we looked at them as a true solution provider and as a good business partner for them.
Oh, and I think you, at the core, you solve the business problem. I think so many times people leave with technology because it's cool. It's like, no, they had a problem and you solved it. That's
Right.
that's a
Exactly. Exactly. And you think about any customer, if you can solve a business issue, they are going to stay with you longer because they really look at you as a business partner, and
Mhm.
we would love for all customers to look at, us as a solution provider as a business partner.
I 100% agree. Okay, so last time we'll do one word thing to you one more time, but what one word would your customer describe the entire working with IntelePeer experience as?
Again, I'll go to delightful, but I say partnership, even for our customers, they really look at us as a business partner.
100% agree. And that's what I love about these conversations because it's all about solving problems. And you obviously solved a big problem for this organization. And to your point, they will be stickier now because
Right.
they can count on you.
Yes, most definitely. And I think that's always, being in the technology distribution world as long as I have, it's a big part of you trust your supplier, you're trusting your supplier. You want that customer to stay longer. You don't want to have to go out and find another solution. You hope that provider that you chose in the first place is going to be able to help continue to solve business problems as we add additional features and functionality, being able to offer that and upsell and, go broader within that customer.
I 100% agree. Well, Kim, thank you so much for your time today. I've loved this conversation.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Paul.